Apollo 9, Stony, stand by for the count. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, ignition. 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
All engine
Liftoff.
Clock start flight. Roger, clock.
The journey of human history is defined by distance. This distance isn't measured in miles, it's measured in milestones. It's the exact distance between necessity and invention, thirst and water, desire and discovery, from the red sands of Mars to the corridors of our imagination. Each step is a leap toward understanding what lies beyond. It's driving across this divide that brings us to new countries of thought and lands of possibility. Like the molten fury of a volcano, ideas erupt, forming new terrains of knowledge. Miles melt into microns, seasons change into seconds. Distance is what crowns us. Distance is what inspires us. Distance drives us as it denies us. It builds character as it builds civilization. It tears down walls and raises new questions. And above all else, it moves us across uncharted oceans to resplendent streams of thought, from mapping the ocean floors to tracing the migratory lines of marine species. We add fresh lines to our maps with each discovery. Lines that stretch out towards zero, like hands reaching out for the unknown, forever approaching our ultimate destination, where distance becomes a distant memory for what's next.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, good morning. Welcome, fellow explorers. Welcome, fellow crewmates here on Spaceship Earth. I'm Richard Garriott. I'm president of the Explorers Club, and we are so honored to be gathered again here in Angra for the 5th Global Exploration Summit. I have a few thank yous I'd like to make. First, to the co-chairs of this event, Richard Weiss and Milbury Polk over there to my right. Also, thanks to Manuel Voss and the expanding team who put all these visuals together, the stage presentations, our whole program. Thank you to Manuel and his team. Of course, thank you to Angra de Heroísmo and the mayor of Angra, Álamo Meneses, and also, of course, Marco Couto, president of the Angra Chamber of Commerce. To start us off this morning, let us first welcome Marco Couto.
Bom, Sr. Diretor Regional, Sala de Representação, a representação do Governo, Sr. Presidente, restantes entidades. Wow, it is so good to see this center full of people. Welcome to the Explorers, the GLEX, the Global Exploration Summit. You know, being from Azores is something different, but being from Terceira is unique. And we felt that yesterday, right, Richard? And all the explorers. I think that we had a great time, a great dinner today. Yeah, right? Real good. And a very good moment with the bullfight and the bailinhos. I think it was. Yeah, I think that yesterday at the dinner we had a good idea what is to be from Terceira, which is different. That's why the GLEX Summit is on by the second time at the Azores, third time at the Azores, but the second on Terceira, because be from Terceira is real different than be from any other island. And I respect all of them, obviously. But no other island could have this event 2 times in a row except us. Secondly, all of this was possible because of 3 people. First, obviously, Richard. Thank you so much for accept this challenge to come to an island in the middle of the ocean, do a GLEX and Exploration Summit. Thank you so much. Please, an applause to them. Secondly, Manuel Vaz. He's a good friend of Azores, a good friend of Terceira, that have made this challenge to us and believe on us. And thank you so much, Manuel, for that. At last, but not at least, at all. The man that made all of this possible, that allowed that we have 140 teachers here from the high school to the university, that we have explorers, a man with a different vision of the island and a different vision of the Azores. Our mayor, PhD Álamo Meneses. Thank you so much. it is really important that everybody knows that without him, nothing, and this team, obviously, Guido, Paulo, Fatima Amorim, nothing of this would be possible. He supported financially these 2 years without any help from any other one. And as you can think, for a city like this one, this is a huge investment, which is something that I always remind. I would like to tell us a little story, if you allowed me. Some of you will know, but for those who don't, I would say 5 to 6 years ago, I have run for mayor against Álamo. Yeah, and I lost, obviously. Thank God that happened. Thank God that happened. Because today, we are together fighting for the island and fighting for the city and trying to bring the world to Azores. And that is what we are doing here today. Bring the world to Azores and bring the world to Terceira Island. I would like to make a challenge, if you allowed me, to those 3 people. GLEX is already a certain in the world, I think. It's a grow project. But I'm always thinking on new things. The GLEX have the headquarters here on the island on a challenge made to Richard and to Manuel that they accept, and with the support of the mayor. Now, I would like to do another step, if you allow me. I think that we could start thinking on a project that would be the GLEX Academy. Do this for the young explorers. Bring the young explorers to Azores, keeping the Azores at Terceira on the center of the world. Well, we have 2 days to think on that. Thank you all for coming. Have a good work. Let's go.
GLEX Academy, we'll definitely be noodling on that this week. Next, we'd love to hear from the mayor of Angra, Álamo Meneses.
Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for coming to Angra. Living in an island is living in a naturally enclosed space. We know that we have the ocean all around of us, but at the same time, the ocean has been all along our history, not something that closes the island, but something that connects the island to the world. Of course, we live in new times where shipping and coming by sea is no longer the only way to arrive to the island. You can fly here, you can come by many, many ways and from many, many places, but the island is still the same. It's a space that is at the same time our space, but it's your space too, and a space open to the world. If you look back to these pictures, you somehow can understand how Angra was born and why Angra is here. You have in that side that small bay. In Portuguese, a small bay is called Angra. So the name of the place is basically the inlet or the bay. And it was that bay and that volcano that forms the bay. Well, not many cities in the world can say that we have our downtown volcano. And that's, we have our downtown volcano. That has a name that is also deep in history, Monte Brazil. For those that think that Brazil has an original name, it doesn't. That mountain was already Brazil before the Europeans got to know that Brazil was there. So this is a place that has been always at the center of the Atlantic trade. It has been always at the center of all the events that happen in the global exploration. So it is really fitting that we have this summit here and that we have you here. It's always a pleasure when you live in an island and when you live in a smaller community to receive people coming from outside. So feel welcome in Terceira. Look at this space as your space too. Look at this as your home too for these days. And feel always welcome to return. GLEX has been a very good way to project the name of the island to the outside. I believe that many of you, those coming from the outside, without the GLEX, would never, but never hear the name of Angra and would have no idea that this space exists here in the middle of the Atlantic. And that is the reason why the municipality is also investing in this event, because we definitely need to ascertain our place in the world, to regain our place in the world. Because in the old times, when people had no other choice but stop here, of course, they would have to know the place. But nowadays, you can cross the Atlantic without even looking down. So you don't even know that you crossed the Atlantic. So we really need to reposition ourselves, and this event is extremely important for us. That's why I also want to thank Manuel Vaz. He has been central in all of this, and Richard Garriott and the Explorers Club for choosing Angra for this event. For us, it's very important because we definitely need, in this globalized world where we are now, to have this opening to the world, to receive people from outside, and especially to project our name and our existence to the outside world. Thank you very much for coming. It is really, really an honor to receive you here, and a pleasure, of course. Thank you very much.